my mess ups, because he's already prepared for what I might do. He knows what I'm going to do before I do it, and he already made preparation for me before I get there. What follows darkness is light. That darkness is the indicator that light is getting ready to shine. So there it is in Genesis, when darkness was upon the face of the deep, and God in the spirit form moved upon the face of the waters, and then God said, let there be. Because darkness precedes the light. Are you understanding what I'm saying? But he needs the darkness there so that God can move upon the face of the deep, so that the shift can take place. Listen, look at your neighbor and tell your neighbor that shift take place in the darkness. Oh my God, you hear what I just said? Everybody's not going to see the shift that's happening. They see the chaos, but they don't see the shift. They see all the craziness going on in your life, but they don't understand that underneath the darkness, God is moving in secret. He's moving in quiet. He's moving in the hidden places. He's moving in the cracks and the corners and the crevices. He's moving in places that you cannot see. And when the light comes, they're going to see a new order. Afraid to dream, afraid to imagine. But I'm here to tell you that you are an infinite, limitless, boundless being. Are you willing to do what is necessary to have what you desire?
Thank you for joining us. Please take a moment and like the Facebook page. Subscribe to the YouTube page and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when we go live. If you are finding value in these enrichment sessions, please consider supporting this page financially. Your donations allow us to continue to provide spiritual enlightenment, self-exploration, and kingdom knowledge. Also, consider becoming a partner because partnerships have this privilege. As a partner, you'll be able to attend our annual Partners Only Summer Summit, join us for our 6 a.m. virtual daily guided meditation sessions, weekly advanced empowerment sessions, regular prophetic insights and instructions, 30% discount on all Emerge books and merchandise, and a custom Emerge t-shirt. You'll also gain full access to the private Emerge Movement community page as well as group chats. Once again, thank you for watching.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, and welcome to the Emerge Empowerment Session. I'm your host, Isaac J. Miles Sr., and you've just tuned in to one of the most powerful places on the planet, the Emerge Empowerment Session. I am so ecstatic that you decided to share part of your Sunday morning with me this morning. We're going to continue this morning's conversation with part two of what's coming, a prophetic look forward, because we are in, as one author, historical author wrote, the best of times and the worst of times. We are in an eclectic period of time where we're going to experience we have never seen before. Well, we have seen before, but we have not seen for centuries, since the 1700s. We've not seen a moment in time like this one. YouTube Live, as well as those of you who are joining me via TikTok. I am so glad that you are here. All of my TikTok family, you guys are absolutely wonderful. I appreciate you joining in and being a part of the conscious conversation that we're having today. Now, we seem to be having a few connection issues going on with Facebook. Facebook always got some kind of drama going on, so there we go again. See, hopefully broadcast. If something happens, you're not able to see me on Facebook, please say something in the comments so that I will know that the feed has gone down there, and I'll be able to try and make some adjustments while we're active on the air. So if there's a little dead space in between, it means that I'm trying to fix something and get us back up. Okay, so I appreciate each and every one of you. Let's see if we turn that off right there. Maybe that might help. And just have this going. All right. So here's what I need for you to do. Those of you watching me on TikTok, as well as those of you watching on Facebook and YouTube Live, I need you to do three things for me. Number one, I need you to like this live. Like this video as we are now on the air and going forward. When you like, it helps us to engage more with the algorithm, and we get pushed out a little bit further. Those of you watching on TikTok, we did I think 12,000 likes the last time. I want to get it over 50. Matter of fact, let's go big. Let's go for 20,000 likes today on TikTok. So I need y'all to go ahead and start double tapping that screen. Those of you watching on Facebook as well as YouTube, I want to get at least 10,000 to 15,000 likes on those two channels. So I need for you to hit that like button, give me some hearts, give me some loves. I need you to engage. It helps to push us out further in the algorithm. Number two, I need for you to share this live. Come on, y'all. It don't take but 30 seconds for you to do it. Just hit the share button and send it out. Share it on your page on Facebook. Share it to your group chat, your groups, your family, your friends, all of your cousin them, and invite them to come and be a part of the conversation. Those of you who are watching me on TikTok, share it to everybody on your friends list. Notify them. Let them know that we're on and that this is something that will grab their attention and that will enlighten and illuminate their mind. Invite them to come and be a part of the conscious conversation. Now, number three, I not only need for you, and this doesn't apply to those of you in TikTok, at least I don't know if there's a way to do this with TikTok or not. I'm still learning all the ins and outs of TikTok. So there might be a way, but I don't think that there is, but if there is, then do it. I need for those of you on Facebook to tag as many of your friends and family and everybody that you know, all those folk you got on your friends list, your timeline that you really don't communicate with. They don't like nothing. They don't share nothing. They don't interact with anything. Tag them to let them know that you see them, that you know that they're there. Tag them in this video so that they can come over and be a part of this conversation. And this way you'll get an opportunity to see where their mind is, okay? So tag them, invite them to come and be a part of this conscious conversation that we're having this morning. I appreciate your tuning in. I know I'm talking kind of fast because we only have 1 hour and we got a lot of ground to cover, and I am already certain that we are not going to cover everything. So there's probably going to be a part 3 of this particular conversation because I've got a lot of information. Now, last week, what we talked about was this fantastic, phenomenal, and unique event that is taking place in the global community that is signified what we see happening in the atmosphere and in the heavens. The heavens are speaking. Let me say it again. The heavens, that is the constellations, the planetary movements, the clouds, the stars, they are speaking and revealing and signaling the divine plan of the all of everything. They are giving us an indication of what is to come. And right now, the most significant thing that's happening in the planetary system in the heavens is the movement of Pluto. Pluto is making its trek out of Capricorn and returning to Aquarius, where it will remain and settle there for the next 20 years. Now, for some of you who are uninitiated and didn't tune in before, you're like, well, so what? Well, that doesn't happen very often. And every time that it does, it signals a revolutionary change taking place in the earth. As a matter of fact, the last time that this happened in the 1700s, we had the American Revolution, we had the Haitian Revolution, we had the French Revolution. Are you understanding what I'm saying? And that the paradigm across the globe shifted. How we think, how we moved, how we connect as a society, how we operate, our modus operandi completely began to change. And if you think that 2024 has been a wild ride so far, you ain't seen nothing yet, because it's about to get crazy, stupid, revolutionary. It's about to get wild in these next coming months and the next coming years, because we're about to see change take place throughout the global community at breakneck speed, at quantum speed, revolutionizing how we think, move, and operate, and how we connect with each other as spirits being human in the earth. And so while this does indeed have spiritual significance and overtone, it is not purely a spiritual conversation, but we're going to cover things that not only affect the spiritual, but then the natural and the secular as well. Because when I say that everything shifts, everything changes, I mean everything. I mean that this global shifting, this global revolution, evolution is going to have an effect in every mountain of influence, from the media to government to education and business to religion, how we view each other, how we connect with each other, interpersonal relationships, technology. Everything is about to shift, and technology is where we're going to focus this morning, because technology is about to experience its most explosive period that it has we've ever seen before. And I know that might be hard to even fathom because we've already seen so many technological advances take place over the past 20, 30, 40, 50 years that it's like, well, how could it possibly be even bigger and greater than that? There have definitely been technology advances. I often have had conversations with my kids, and they cannot believe some of the things that I tell them. Like, man, I grew up during a time when there was no such thing as a cell phone, no such thing as the internet, no such thing as computers, no such thing as color TV at one point. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Everything was black and white, and there wasn't cable TV or streaming services. You only had a few channels, ABC, CBS, and NBC, and then PBS. And they came on at 6 a.m. in the morning with the Star Spangled Banner and then went off at night. Come on, y'all remember that. They were only on for a few hours out of the day, and then you would have white noise throughout the rest of the night because there were no stations that were on the air. Okay? And yet here we are now with multiple millions of stations that are playing on the air right now. That we have cell phones, man. We couldn't even imagine. And when cell phones did finally start to break through, they were these big, giant car phones that you would have in a bag, or you would have it installed in your car. And you could only make certain calls at certain times, or they were these big monstrosities you'd hold up to your ear like you were holding a plank of wood up to your ear. Oh my goodness. And when the internet came along, man, we were just, folk were frightened and others were excited. Some were excited because of the opportunities and the benefits that were available. Others were afraid because it's like, oh, this is the work of the devil. It's going to be the downfall of the world, and Jesus is soon to come. The end of the world is getting ready to happen. It's going to be apocalyptic. Because it was something that they had never seen. And you know, that's how we respond most times. Society has the tendency, especially religious people, when things begin to happen that they are unfamiliar with, that things begin to happen that is outside of the quote norm, they immediately become apocalyptic and begin to say this is the end of the world and Jesus is getting ready to come, and that, you know, the Antichrist is rising up and the world is about to be destroyed and there won't be water but the fire next time, and blah 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 blah. All of it just hogwash. Oh Lord, what did I just say? Goodness, I'm gonna lose all of my religious viewers. Oh my goodness. Y'all don't get mad, but But I do want to say emphatically, the end of the world is not coming. This is not the end of the world. This is not the end of the world. It's not the last days. It's not the end times. Even from a biblical perspective, most of you have no clue that there's a difference between the end times and the last days. They're not the same thing, and we are not in either one of them. If we were following the Bible, then we would probably be in what the Bible calls the times of sorrows, or the beginning of sorrows. The beginning of sorrows and the times of the sorrows. That's what we would really be in. Okay? I don't have time to get into that. That's not my assignment this morning. But I'm telling you that this revolutionary change that is taking place, if you are not aligned or not attuned with what God is doing, what's happening in the universe, what's happening in the atmosphere around you, then you'll begin to label it as demonic or evil or some kind of signal or sign, apocalyptic judgment that is coming upon the earth. It's none of those things. Okay? It's none of those things. This is a sign that we are stepping into a quantum field of evolutionary change that is taking place in the earth. It is both spiritual and scientific. It is both spiritual and secular. It is both soul and spirit, as well as human and natural. Okay, so and it is not the preeminent will of God, but it is the will of men in concert with the structure that God has put in place, of everything has put in place for mankind to make choices and decisions for itself. Okay? Guided by the Spirit, but definitely mankind making choices and decisions for itself. And ladies and gentlemen, as I said to you in our last live broadcast, that this is the time that is extremely consequential, because the decisions and choices that you make in this time period, especially leading up to November the 19th, when Pluto will settle itself in Aquarius and remain there for the next 20 years, the choices and the decisions that you make are going to have a ripple effect over your life for the next 20 years. So you need to be very deliberate, very intentional, very calculating, very critical in your thinking about the choices and decisions that you make, the flow that you decide to jump into and to go with for in this moment, because that is the flow that is going to carry you over the next 20 years of your life. So that if you elevate and expand your consciousness and vibrate at a higher frequency, and you begin to make choices that are harmoniously aligned with your highest vision and version of your life, then you're going to find that there are going to be opportunities and relationships and encounters that will aid you in expanding, growing, and catapult you, accelerating your growth toward those goals. But if you make choices and decisions, whether intentionally or unconsciously, that are antithetical to your designed desire for your life, then that flow is going to take you toward that which you have designed. What you think about, you will bring about. What you say is laced and empowered with both death and life. That's right. That's a biblical principle, but a spiritual one. That death and life are in the power of the tongue. What you say out of your mouth, what the words that you are speaking are interacting with the divine kingdom of God, the spirit world, the universe, whatever terminology you want to use around us, because it has the responsibility of giving you a visible, tangible presentation of whatever your dominant thought, your words, and your actions align with. That, ladies and gentlemen, that what I just said to you is the process of creation and manifestation. Your thoughts, words, and your actions. What your thoughts inform your words inform your actions, your deeds, and that brings about manifestation in your life. When you are operating from a place where your thoughts, words, and actions align themselves harmoniously with your intentional desire and highest vision for your life, then you automatically begin to manifest people, places, things, opportunities, doors, windows, gates, and portals that open for you to be able to step into that which you desire. But the same way that operates in your favor, it operates on the other flip side as well. So that when you begin to align your thoughts with those disempowering thoughts, ideas, beliefs, concepts that do not harmoniously align with your highest vision for your life, then it attracts the energy that aligns with those disempowering thoughts. So you cannot afford to walk around in depression, suppression. You cannot afford to walk around being negative and speaking negatively about your life, about your future, about your circumstances, because you are inviting a manifestation that aligns with that negativity. You've got to have a positive mind, a positive word conversation, and positive actions that will catapult you toward that which you desire. I often get so many people who comment to me on TikTok, on Facebook, on YouTube, and then out in public, different places, like, you're always so positive. You're always so happy. You're always saying all of these great, empowering things. There's a reason for that. One, it is authentically who I am. But then number two, I am consciously, intentionally, deliberately creating, building, and manifesting a life that reflects my highest value, vision, and version of my life. Are you understanding what I'm saying? It's not a hobby. It's not something I do every now and then. It's not based upon how I'm feeling that particular day. I command my feelings to come into alignment with my highest desire and my thoughts and words, so that even if my feelings seem to be contrary initially, like, no, come on over here, because we're going to be happy. Happy is a choice. We're going to be joyful. We're going to be hopeful. Are you hearing me? We're going to have an expectation and an anticipation for goodness and mercy and greatness and wonder and wealth and prosperity to not only follow me, overtake me, walk with me, flow in me, then through me to others. And I am going to see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. Are you understanding what I'm saying? I approach every day like that, and I encourage you to do the same. All right, I could spend all day right there, but I want to keep moving forward, because I want to get into some other things that you can begin to experience, to expect and experience. Real Hair says you sound like Kamala Harris. That's a compliment to me. So you can, I don't care how you view it, but that's a compliment to me, because she's a very accomplished, wonderful, intelligent, and positive woman. So I appreciate that compliment. Thank you. Say it again. All right. So, and ladies and gentlemen, listen, let me go ahead and pause right there as well. You can expect, in the changing climate, especially here in the United States, after we just went through this historic election that took place, that created a permission structure for those who are invested in hatred and malice and vitriol and division and anger and racism, because that's really what this entire election was based upon. Racism, sexism, xenophobiaism, on homophobia and other these other things of that sort. You can expect that people are going to come out of the woodwork, because now they feel emboldened to be as mean and nasty and vitriolic and malicious as they have always been. But now they think they have a leader that gives them permission to come out and act out their ugly, divisive ways. Don't allow that to dissuade you. Don't allow that to pull you into their negativity. Don't allow them to pull you into their anger and their vitriol. Maintain your joy and your positivity, and remember that you create the world that you live in. Don't let them pull you into their world. You create the world, the atmosphere that you desire for yourself. Don't allow them in any way to get under your skin and cause you to become hateful or malicious or become fearful. We cannot walk in fear. We cannot walk in fear. Do not become fearful or intimidated by their behavior and their actions. This is an old playbook that we have seen for centuries. It has been a part of the American fabric from its very inception up until now. Racism is as germane to the United States as apple pie and baseball. So you cannot become surprised or intimidated or angered or pulled off of message and off of your focus because of people acting out in a certain way. You can never control what people are going to do, but you do have the control over what you do and how you choose to respond. You have control over you. And so how you carry yourself and how you, what your outlook is, what is your attitude toward life, toward the world will determine what your world and your environment is going to look like. And anything that pops up in your world that does not align with your positive outlook and your expectation, that's a weed growing in your garden. You put a little weed killer on it. That's called love, and then ignoring them, not giving them the attention that they desire, and that weed will eventually die from a lack of oxygen and get rooted right out of your garden, and a beautiful rose will grow in its place. Okay? So don't let anybody pull you into that thing. Don't let them do it. Revolutionary change is happening. It is happening, and it's happening for our good. Let me take a moment, take a sip of tea. It's peppermint tea today. It is good. Don't make me use my teacher voice. I love that cup. That's my favorite cup. I drink out of it all the time. So as I said, because Pluto is now getting ready to settle that's right. That's very true. E. Taylor said anger and hate are easy option. We are not like them. Absolutely right. Okay. So now that as Pluto is about to settle into Aquarius for these next 20 years, we can expect revolutionary change. I want to speak to the technological space. In technology, I'm telling you, you can begin to expect technological blah blah advancements that like you have never seen or even imagined before. We're about to enter the time of the Jetsons and Star Trek. Between AI and AR, AI, artificial intelligence, AR, augmented reality, that we're going to, you remember on Star Trek, when they were able to go on to the holodeck and create a whole nother reality for themselves, and they already have these vision glasses that you're able to wear where you can step into a virtual reality. Well, what you saw as a concept on Star Trek is about to become a reality in everyday life. Augmented reality is going to put at our fingertips the ability to be able to create holographic realities that we'll be able to step into, live, experience, and to see, touch, taste, and handle as though it was absolutely real. I know some of you are looking at me right now going like, oh, come on, man. Trust me when I tell you that they are already beta testing some of these ideas right now. Augmented reality is the next frontier along with AI, that is artificial intelligence. Now, most people get really nervous and afraid when you start talking about this kind of technology and this kind of advancement in technology because they think it signals the end of the world and machines are taking over like Terminator. And while there are definitely, there is a space and there's opportunities for abuse, as there always is with everything, with every advancement in whatever the area might be, but the possibilities, ladies and gentlemen, that are ahead, the implications of the advancements that can take place with AI and with AR is limitless. They are infinite, and they absolutely serve to make our global community a better place. Don't let people convince you to be afraid of it or to be resistant to it, but to open your mind and open your heart and embrace the movement forward and get on the cutting edge. Can I advise those of you who are watching me, all of my followers on TikTok, on Facebook, and on YouTube? This is an optimum time for you to consider a switch in career if you are not already working in some area of the technology space, to get an understanding of it and begin to develop skills that will serve you, because it's coming whether you like it or not, whether you are ready for it or not, it is going to come. AI is on a march forward, and AR is as well. And so why not then get in on the ground floor and start to prepare yourself for the eventuality of it coming into play in the vast majority of the world? Why not be one of the technical users or creators or programmers that are going to be involved in this technology, or begin to think how you can employ these different technology structures to advance your career or your ideas and your concepts. I'm here to speak to those of you who are innovators and who are entrepreneurs. You have that entrepreneurial spirit about you. This is a great time for you to begin to turn your attention toward technology and start thinking in terms of how the new technological space can be helpful to advancing not only your career, but your business and your vision for your life. Let me also speak to those of you who are in the investor space. This is an opportune time for you to get involved investing in these different technologies. Whether you are coming in as a VC or whether you are coming in as a single investor, you want to get involved right now in these spaces, because it is the next frontier that will create the next generation of billionaires, and I believe our very first trillionaire. I just believe that. I might be wrong about it. I don't think that I am. We have people who are very close already. But I believe that this technology space will create our very first trillionaire, and that it will create the next generation of billionaires. So here's an opportunity for you to invest, for you to get involved, for you to participate. Are you hearing now? You're saying, well, why are you having this conversation on a spiritual platform? Because it's not relegated just to those who happen to be in the secular space. You guys need to come out of your religious closets and start to recognize that there's a world going on around you. And instead of you waiting for pie in the sky by and by, going up to heaven and going to have my seat right by Jesus' throne, you better start trying to create a heaven for yourself on this earth and start having prosperity and having manifesting abundance right here and right now. It is absolutely not only possible, but it is your birthright. Okay? Stop thinking that things which are new. Yes. This commenter over here said, and for whatever reason on YouTube, it's not allowing me to see your names. But it says, whoever this is says, people first have to stop thinking that things which are new to them are too hard for them to learn and get involved. Absolutely right. Do you know how brilliant, how intelligent, how gifted and talented that you are? You are the divine individuation of the all of everything. You are made and created in the likeness and the image of God. So there is absolutely nothing that you cannot do. And you're really not just learning, you are remembering Oh my goodness, because you are omniscient in your divinity. You are remembering what your soul and spirit has always known, but your conscious mind has crowded out because it's been bombarded with all of this earthly knowledge, secular knowledge, and people around you from culture, environment, and family members and religion trying to tell you who you are. That's why meditation is so important and mindfulness is so important, so you can transcend those areas and begin to tap into your own divine nature and recognize that you have an insatiable, infinite capacity for growth, development, and advancement and evolution. Do you understand what I'm saying? So there is nothing that you cannot master. Everything that is in this earth and everything that will ever manifest in this three-dimensional existence that we call earth is here to serve you. Everything is for you. So you have the ability to not only, quote unquote, learn it, but to master it so that it serves your highest good. Are you understanding what I'm saying? So it's important that you come out of your religious closet and start to live, move, and operate and matriculate in this real world reality and make it your own. Use that. If you have, and most religions teach this, that you have this infinite source of power within you. Greater is he that is in you than he that's in the world. You shall have power. After that, the Holy Spirit has come upon you, and you shall be witnesses of me in Jerusalem, Judea, and other most parts of the earth. You can do all things through the Christ consciousness that lives in you. Nay, in all these things you are more than conquerors. All of these scriptures that talk about how you have this infinite source of power living, abiding in you, through you, and as you. Then why are you walking around intimidated and fearful about the changes that are taking place in this world or in the technology space when you understand that since God is for me, who can be against me? Nothing is against me. Everything is for me. And I have this infinite source of power. So let me use it to create the reality, the life, the world that I desire. Ladies and gentlemen, instead of walking around here like a bunch of weaklings, paupers, disempowered, cripples, and dependent, running from revival to revival, from conference to conference, from workshop to workshop, begging and pleading and acting like a spiritual junkie. Can you pray for me? Can you pray for me? Y'all pray for me. Please pray for me. I need a fix. I need a fix. I need somebody to pray for me. Put it right in my arm. Put it right in my arm. Put it right in my arm. Juice me up. Hype me up. Make me feel better. Man, tap into your own greatness. Stop being a junkie and tap into your own greatness, your own power, your own potential, your own ability, your limitless capacity to expand, grow, and evolve, and begin to take advantage of the opportunities that are created around you and create and build the life that you desire. It doesn't matter from this standpoint who the president of the United States is. As a matter of fact, it's a small thing from this perspective. I'm not saying it doesn't matter at all, because some of the policies and other things that he's already beginning to plan and enact are going to bring about a lot of harm and a lot of consternation and some austerity where the country is concerned. But I'm telling you, for those who are aligned and who are attuned, and those of us who are listening to the voice of God that speaks from within us, it does not matter what his policy is, because you know how to create rivers in a desert. You know how to eat and in the midst of a famine. You know, throw me in the woods and leave me there. And when you come back, I will have built a city. Leave me out in the desert. And when you come back, I will have created a river. Are you understanding what I'm saying? That we understand how to take what people think is nothing and create an entire world with it. especially those of us who are from African descent. Come on, we have always, even our ancestors who were brought here in chains, given scraps and given nothing and brutalized and raped and beaten. And yet look at what they were able to achieve and to attain. Look at how far we've advanced as a culture because of our ancestors not taking no as an answer and being as creative and innovative as they were. They took scraps and turned it into a meal and turned it into something that they didn't go over to Africa and kidnap slaves. They kidnapped mathematicians and scientists and inventors and entrepreneurs and made them slaves, but could not take that entrepreneurial, creative, innovative spirit that was in them out of them. And so it flowed freely. Ladies and gentlemen, that is an indication of the greatness that's in each and every one of us. So take the lemon and make lemonade. Take what they intend for evil and make something great out of it. Take these times of austerity that they are trying to push upon the country and use it as an opportunity to create a reality that aligns with your highest desire, and then use that, the outcome, the manifestation of that, to tap into your innate generosity and bring others along with you and help to soothe the hurt and the pain of others who may not be as ingenuitous and as ambitious as you are. Are you understanding what I'm saying? We are not dependent upon whoever happens to be sitting in that White House, no matter how malicious they might be, no matter how vindictive and tyrannical they might be. They don't get to determine your reality. Are you hearing me? Lord, this took a turn. I was really just trying to talk about the technological space and then move on to another advancement that I see getting ready to come across the horizon. But I can sense and feel the fearfulness and the intimidation, and so many people are worried about what is going to happen, especially those who are here in the United States. Ladies and gentlemen, listen, don't fall for the okie doke. Lord have mercy, I'm getting ready to go down a rabbit hole that's going to get me in trouble, especially on TikTok, because they don't like for you to talk about politics or anything like that on TikTok. At least they don't like for some of us to talk about politics. They don't mind others, of the fairer skin. But those of us who look like this, they kind of have an issue with us talking politics on here. But I'm just going to say it that in the American political system, in this American election, all of us know that everybody's like, well, the Democrats got to find a way to do this, and they didn't speak to black men, and they didn't speak to Hispanic men, and they need to be on more social media, and they need to go into this podcast, and they need to go and do this, that, and that. None of that would have worked. Actually, Kamala Harris ran almost flawless, perfect campaign. But Donald Trump knew something about America that most people are unwilling to acknowledge. He understood that America is intrinsically, foundationally racist. Now, I know I made some of my white brothers and sisters get real mad and get real upset, but come on, let's just be honest that, when you talk about making America great again, America has never been great. There's never been a time in the history of America that it was great for everyone. It was great for certain people, but it was not great for everyone. This country is historically racist and has never dealt with its original sin, not in any real way. And so Donald Trump understood that I don't have to put forth any policy. I don't have to go into any of the minutia and the wonkiness of how we're going to deal with the economy of this, that, and the other. I simply need to play into the racial fears that have been lying, sleeping, and dormant in the lives of so many people, the majority of the white people and others in this country. And if I do it like Pied Piper, if I play this flute, then they will rise up from every corner of this country and they will follow and they will align themselves with me, and they'll call it economic angst, and they'll call it all of this other stuff. And I, I'm afraid of transgenderism and this, that, and that. But at its core, it's just simply racism. It is the isms, the racism, xenophobia, misogyny. All of those things stem from that one root. And so he understood the assignment. I just have to get out there and promote this as much as possible, and people will flock to it and they will follow behind it, because at their heart and core, they are afraid of the others, the browning of America. Ooh, watch my numbers on TikTok go down now. Boy, look at here. The numbers going down because they don't want to hear this. But it's an absolute truth. That is an absolute truth. He didn't put forth any real policy except for a tax cut for billionaires. Everything else, it was just racism. It was just vitriol and grievance and hatred and malice. And people responded. Okay? He understood that. He understood it. So that no matter what anyone else said, Kamala could have said that I'm going to pass a policy and give everybody an annual income of $100,000 straight from the government, and she still would have lost. She could have said, well, I'm going to give everybody a gold bar, and she still would have lost. Okay? Because he tapped into what is the nature of this country. And the only way that it changes is that you have to first admit it and then deal with it and then do the repentance. That is, make a 180-degree turn and head in a different direction. That's what true repentance is. It's having a change of mind, a change of perception, and therefore that facilitates a change in direction. America has never changed its mind, like Germany changed its mind about Nazism. America has never changed its mind. It changed its window dressing, but it's never changed its collective consciousness. Ooh. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, day. I better get off that one, huh? Shoot. I better get away from that one right there. But that is absolute truth, ladies and gentlemen. And until the collective consciousness in America changes, then we're going to keep getting the same results. And Donald Trump is not the cause. He is the symptom. He is the symptom. He is the offshoot. He is the byproduct of the root of racism that still eats away at this country. Oh, well. You can block me. You can cut me off and say, oh, that's it. I'm not listening to him no more. Okay. Not going to change the truth. The truth stands all by itself. You can look at this shirt and call it purple all you want to. It doesn't change the fact that it's not. It's still burgundy. No matter what you call it. So you can call racism economic anxiety all you want. That's okay. It's not going to change the fact that it's racism. You can call it whatever you want. It's economic anxiety. And you forget about the middle class. You forgot about middle America. We feel left out. Yeah, okay. Call it whatever you want to call it. Dress it up in whatever language you want to. But at the root of it, at the base of it, at the foundation, it's racism. And until we have a change of a collective consciousness, it's always going to be that. We got to change our mind. There's got to be a true repentance. All right, whole nother conversation. Whew, I'm going to climb down off that soapbox and let me get back to what I'm talking about over here. Yeah, my goodness. Okay. All right. So there will be these technological advances and a revolution that will take place in innovation because of this planetary movement. But there is also going to be social change. Ladies and gentlemen, please understand, and this is in line with what I just got through saying. I'm trying to get away from it, but I keep getting dragged back in. Every time I get out, they pull me back in. Oh my goodness. We are going to see a social uprising across this planet that will make what happened during the 60s and the civil rights movement, during the George Floyd, the revolution that took place during that time. It is going to look like what happened in Tiananmen Square. It's going to all be dwarfed by what we're about to see take place across society, because much of society and the global community is awakening, becoming more consciously aware of not only their own divinity, but the interconnectedness of all humanity. You are starting to hear the words of a global community taking center stage more than you've ever seen before. And you're about to hear more of that now. Okay, what you need to understand, especially my friends and brothers and sisters that are in the United States, is that the United States is not the center of the world. It is not the cornerstone of the global community. And so because of it's not happening in the United States doesn't mean that it's not happening in the rest of the world. We are not the majority. You need to understand that God is not an American. Woo! That one's hard for people to swallow. Let me say it again. Let me give you a moment to take a deep breath. God is not an American. Yes, come on. Deep breath in, release. Don't pass out. God is not an American. Number two, God is not Christian. Deep breath in, release. I know. It's going to be all right, baby. It's going to be all right. God is not Christian. God is not American. God is not Christian. God is not Hindu, Buddhist, or Jewish. God is not American, German, or Asian. God is not French. God is divine spirit, individualizing itself uniquely in every single one of us across this planet or plane of consciousness. God is not tied and tethered to the man-made constructs that we have created in the earth, that things like national identity and religious ideology. God is not tied to any of that. You can bring God into it, and God will operate in you, through you, and as you in it, but God is not tied and tethered to any of it. That is the will and the plan of man. Man created Christianity. Man created Buddhism, Hinduism, Islam. Man created Taoism. Man created the United States. Man created France and Egypt and Germany and all of these countries. Men founded them and set up their government, their rules, their regulations, and how they thought that they wanted things to operate. God was not involved in it, and God is not tied and tethered to it. Okay? Not tied to the Bible, not tied to the Quran, not tied to the Book of Tao, not tied to the Bhagavad Gita, not tied to the ancient Egyptian Book of the Dead. God is not tied to any of it. Has it been an hour already? Great day. I got my little puzzle come up on TikTok to remind me that I've been on for an hour. Man, the hour went by fast. Okay. So that means I got to bring this to a close. And as I said, part 3. Lord, part 3, I'm going to have to just jump right in and start talking about some of the other things that I see unfolding without getting it. But I think the conversation went the way that it needed to go this morning. I think it went the way that it needed to go. Double tap over here on TikTok. Like over here on Facebook. Okay? But God is none of these things. God is not tied and tethered. When you start trying to confine God to your particular religious ideology or belief system, when you start to try and confine God to your particular nationality or nation state, you are limiting yourself. You're not limiting God. You are limiting yourself and your experience of God and your experience of the world. Woo, let me say it again. When you try and tie and tether and limit and confine God to your human constructs like religion and nation states, you are limiting yourself. You're not limiting God. You are limiting your experience of God and all the possibilities that are around you because you have tried to tie and tether and confine it to those spaces. The moment that you release yourself from that confinement and start to recognize the infinite capacity of God as the infinite being that it is, you open yourself to infinite possibilities and experiences that are available to every single one of us that inhabit this three-dimensional plane. That is a fact, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? Just as what happened in the 1700s, we saw a dramatic shift in the power structures around the globe. Like I mentioned earlier, the Haitian Revolution, the French Revolution, the American Revolution, and all of these different shifts in power and the power and change in the power structures that took place during this period of time when Pluto was in Aquarius in the 1700s. You're about to see that happen right now. Now, we may not have a physical war, and then we just might. But there is definitely going to be a dramatic shift in the power structure around the globe. Trust me when I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, already, especially after, again, the election here in the United States has put the global community into a frenzy. And so all of what were the allies of the United States are now trying to come up with strategies of how they will navigate around the United States because they now have concluded that the United States is no longer dependable. Okay? I saw this little meme that was a joke on Facebook. I thought it was hilarious. It says, do you know what border's stupid? Do you know what border's stupid? Mexico and Canada. That's hilarious to me. I'm sorry. That is hilarious to me. Mexico and Canada. Oh my goodness. That is hilarious. But it points to the fact that many of the countries around the world are now coming up with new ways of being able to structure their strategies for their countries around the United States. And so this is going to bring about dramatic transformation where the power structures are concerned around the world. Now that we have in the United States a political leader, president that is more akin and aligned with dictators and tyrants than he is with our democratic allies, those allies are now looking for ways to navigate around the United States and depend upon themselves and each other and leaving the United States over on the side. We are not the global power that we think that we are, and it's about to be proven because these countries are now starting to recognize that they can no longer depend on the United States. And when there is a vacuum created as such as this, there are always those that will rise up and fill the vacuum. That is the birthplace, the incubator of innovation. And we're going to see innovations in government and economic strategy around the world that is going to surprise many people because of the change in the power structure. Pluto governs transformation. And while Aquarius symbolizes the collective, this combination suggests a re-imaging and a reimagining of power structures, potentially leading to more disrupted community-led forms of government. Let me say that again. This combination suggests a reimagining, re-imaging of the power structures, potentially leading to a more disruptive and distributed Community-led forms of government, political and social movements emphasizing inclusivity and representation will gain momentum and begin to challenge the traditional institutions and promoting decentralizing power. I'm telling you, you're going to see it happen. You're going to see it happen. These government structures that are about to emerge around the globe now are going to be more inclusive and not as exclusive, not based on capitalism. I know we are a very capitalistic society here in the United States, and that's why we have the wealth gap as large as it is, and it's going to get wider based on the policies that are being proposed to go forward now. But around the world, people are starting to realize that this does not work. It's not good for society. It's not good for humanity. And so you're going to see more government structures that are more inclusive instead of exclusive. More inclusive. Are you understanding what I'm saying? And having more representation from the different segments of society and humanity, and seeing more of a collective leadership that decentralizes power away from one figure or from a parliament or a Congress or a one governing body, but now broadens that to highlight the abilities of the general society and the thoughts and ideas of the general society. It is going to be a more decentralized government structure that is about to take place around the world. That's why there's such a violent reaction. This reactionary movement that has taken place, again, specifically here in the United States, but in other places like Russia. That's one of the reasons that he's trying to go in to take Ukraine. In Israel, it's going in and trying to wipe out the Palestinian people and committing genocide and ethnic cleansing in the Congo, in Sudan. We see the same things happening as well. Because it is a response to the decentralization and decolonization that is emerging around the globe. And no matter how violent and brutal and evil and wicked these movements might be, they will not be able to stamp out the voice and the will of the people as they begin to arise and demand that they have a government structure that responds to the people and not to the whims of a dictator, a tyrant, or to racism and division. Okay? Israel is the mirror image of the United States. As I said to you guys earlier, that the United States is steeped in racism. The foundation, the very fabric of this country is racism. It is built on racism. Well, the same is true for Israel. Israel is just a mini United States operating from a racist mindset, an intrinsically systemic racist mindset and policies against the Palestinian people, who they view as less than human. And so you have to dehumanize them in order to justify treating them with such viciousness and brutality. That's what they had to do here in the United States. They had to dehumanize us and say that our ancestors were 3/5 of a person, or say that they were just beasts and animals. They don't have feelings. They're not subject to pain. They had to, in order to justify in their mind their brutality. That's the same thing that Hitler did. He had to somehow dehumanize the Jewish people in order to justify the brutality. But I'm telling you, around the globe, those who are under the oppression of those who want to impose their will upon the masses are rising up, and we are going to see a shift in the power structure around the globe like you may have never imagined, that decentralizes power and puts the power back into the hands of the people, and the revolution will be televised. Oh my goodness, I couldn't resist putting that piece in there. I'm over time by 9 minutes, and I'm still talking because I still got so much more to say. I've got so much more to say. I want to talk about the expansion of individual and collective identity. And I also want to talk about the rise of spiritual consciousness and evolution in how we relate and think about God. But that's going to have to come in part 3 because I'm over my time already. Thank you for all of you that tuned in on TikTok. Thank you for your likes. We didn't quite make our goal. Go ahead and start double tapping the screen. Let's get a little bit higher than where we are right now. We didn't quite make it to 20,000, but I want to get way higher than where we are right now. Those of you watching on Facebook and on YouTube, I need you to double tap the screen. Well, you don't double tap. I'm sorry. Hit those likes and love on your screen over there as well. And let's drive up the viewership as well as expand the reach of this particular platform. If you'd like to contribute to this platform, if you'd like to sow a seed of any kind, those of you who are watching on TikTok, it's already written in the description. You can use our CashApp, emerge, $ emerge, LEC, $ emerge, LEC. Or you can continue to give gifts on this live like some of you have already been doing. Thank you for the coins and for the bears and for all of the other gifts that you've given here. I absolutely appreciate you. I see you. I love you. I thank you for your support. You can depend on my giving you support back as I go around to your pages. Those of you who are watching over here on Facebook as well as on YouTube, you see on your screen right now the many ways that you're able to give, whether it's through CashApp, Zelle, PayPal, Venmo. We solicit your support and invite you to sow a seed of whatever size that you desire into this particular platform. I appreciate your help and your support. I invite all of you across all platforms to become a partner with the Emerge movement. You do so by just simply sending me an email to the email address that you see on your screen and saying, I want in. I will immediately send you out an information packet that gives you all the information about the Emerge movement and as well as our partner agreement. You simply sign the agreement, email it back to me, and you're in. And that gives you access to our private group that we have on Facebook, where I share so much more detail and insight and spiritual truth. I guarantee you it will change and revolutionize your life. Partnership has its privileges. So I invite you to become a partner. Those of you on TikTok, subscribe. That will bring you to the partnership channel as well, so that you're able to come in and be a part. Thank you for the ice cream cones. Thank you for the teddy bears. Thank you for the coins. Thank you for everything for those of you who are on there. Those of you watching, I still have this screen up over here on Facebook and YouTube. Let me get back to me. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you for your financial support as well. And thank you for your interest in becoming partners with the Emerge movement. I hope that you'll meet me back here again on next Sunday at 9 a.m. for the Emerge Empowerment Session. We'll see you then. Some of you are even afraid to dream, afraid to imagine. But I'm here to tell you that you are an infinite, limitless, boundless being. Are you willing to do what is necessary to have what you desire?
You've been listening to Apostle Isaac Miles, the disruptive innovator, a mentor, an author, a motivational speaker, an entrepreneur, and the founder and spiritual director at Emerge LEC, Life Enrichment Center. Please take a minute to subscribe, like, and share this page. If you'd like to become a partner, you can do so by emailing us at emerge.lifecenter@gmail.com. Again, that's emerge.lifecenter@gmail.com. Once again, thank you for watching.